want people to look at the same shit in the background all the time. There's also another that stupid picture. Well, it was a great day, but that was me and Kaylee at the aquarium meeting a blind fucking like sea lion or whatever the hell it is.
A blind one?
It was blind, yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I don't know if you can.
I can see it. He can't.
Yeah, he has no idea, but yeah,
That's pretty
that was
tight.
a fun day.
Yeah. We were down at like SeaWorld or something one day, and it was way back in the day. Like it was like a work thing where like everybody did the company she was working for like got passes and shit. Because other than that, like I wouldn't, I don't know.
Besides that one time you and I went.
We went to SeaWorld?
With Rome.
No, we went to the aquarium.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
okay.
big drop off. Remember when we went to Disney World? Fuck, no, that was the dump. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious.
Niagara Falls Disney World.
Well, we went to SeaWorld, and it was a fucking crazy-ass snowstorm up here, and we're down in Florida. And someone she worked with sent her a picture of the snow, like, on the car, and it was like, how you show, like, this was from last night's a huge thing, and the winter advisories, and the whole fucking area is shut down. And she sent her back a picture of me petting a dolphin, like, in the middle, like, drunk as fuck, 2 PM, petting a dolphin in, like, a linen shirt, like, fucking...
There's a photo I have to show you next time, because it's all the way downstairs, but it's when Kaylee and I went to the Dominican, when we, like, got engaged and shit, we did, like, a dolphin, like, pet thing.
Yeah.
And it's both her and I, like when it's dolphin in the middle is the funniest, and Lindsay, every time she sees it, she cannot stop laughing. It's the lamest photo.
Kind of uncomfortable because you're like, this is a wild magical creature, and
yeah, but but it was like, it was pure joy, but it was just one of those lame like family photos, it seemed like, except it was with a dolphin, and I'm just like but it was just one of those angles, and Lindsay just thought it was the funniest fucking thing in the world.
Was it the dolphin? I think it was the dolphin thing. There was something where we're all circled around this tank, and I think it was dolphins. And they're like, if you want to pet it, put your hand in the water, and they'll come swim up, and they'll just graze against your hand. They're like, don't like slap on the water like you would a dog. Like when you want the dog to come up on the couch, you pop, come here, you slap. Don't slap on the water because they think that's like a fish or something. They think it's food, and they will bite you. Here's the problem. Nobody who fucking works at SeaWorld gave any of these instructions in any other language besides English. And surrounding this place is tourists from all over the world.
Right.
So next to me, there's like some fucking guys from El Salvador, like, go to SeaWorld, come to SeaWorld, El Delfino. And he's smacking the thing, and I'm trying to be like, stop, he's going to bite your fucking hand off. There's like 8-year-old Mexican kids like next to me, they're all slapping the water. And she's like, once again, don't slap the water. And I'm like, they do not fucking speak English. Okay.
One of them has an arm missing. Like, we came here last year.
Second time's a charm. And it's like, it was just like, you guys should like in every language possible. This is an international fucking destination.
Or just like write the rules. That'd probably be easier than in like different languages instead of having somebody speak it all the time.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but it's good to know. So anybody, if you're around a fucking dolphin, don't be slapping the wall, because it's like your initial reaction for any animal is to, if I see a grizzly bear, I'm gonna be like, come here, little buddy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just your initial thing is to like, tap the couch cushion, and the dog hops up and you scruff him.
Right.
But not a dolphin. Yeah.
Well, welcome back, everyone.
What's up? I hope everyone had a
holidays,
happy
holidays,
and healthy New Year.
Happy New Year. Cheers. I got my coffee here, which is basically just cream, if you can tell. There's.
It's New Year, new me.
Yeah.
We went to fucking Wegmans on like New Year's Day, and which is the day where everybody in the country is off work, and Wegmans hired exactly 7 employees. There literally was 3 aisles open of the not 15 items or less or self-checkout. So like, dude, you're like, what the fuck? And nobody knows how to navigate anymore. I don't know if it's the phones or the mask or something. I've been saying this for years, but it's like literally like it just becomes just a clusterfuck at the end of a thing. And I almost was about to be like, okay, people, new year, new us, let's work together.
Let's figure this
out. You
on
the scooter. Obviously, you're the first issue, so let's. Obviously, you're the fucking the thing that's blocking most of this. So you go first. Okay, old lady, do you need that much food? This is enough food for 3 weeks. You're not gonna last 3 weeks, but come on, you know what I mean? Get a fucking couple of fucking yogurt cups and come back tomorrow if you're.
There are directional arrows and shit on the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit,
and then they did that for COVID.
I remember there's like lines on the ground. And
you gotta, they're herding the sheep.
Yeah,
the sheeple.
Well, the sheep. We need that little pig from the movie to come into the store and be like, "You fucking idiots! All right, come on, like this way, that way. Someone's got to move." Everyone just stops and they just look at each other, all scared. So just like above a mask, you just see eyes like.
So every obviously you watch all the Christmas classics and shit like that every year. Like Christmas Vacation, Elf, Home Alone 1 and 2. Yeah. All the other ones can fuck off. But like, okay, so Kaylee and I watched. I think it was, I forget which Christmas classic, but we weren't quite ready for bed after it was done, so we just threw on something for like 30 minutes, and we put on the Santa Claus, with Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Not very good movie.
No, but I like it, but like because it was like it was like a
you watched it when you were a kid.
Yeah, it's like one of those where you watch it when you're a kid.
The effects are really bad,
and you're like, I love this movie, and then you watch it as an adult, and you're like, this is terrible.
Well, here's the thing. So you know how like I had an issue where random people would call out my weight, so like not like guess the actual number, but remember I said like so the guy who came over to clean our carpets like made a comment about, and I don't know him about like.
Wasn't he like, we're a couple
some
of
other
guys.
dude.
We like to have, we like to eat, and you're like, what are you talking about? Like,
exactly.
you're not a big guy.
And the other guy I helped out with the pistol permit, like he like got out of my car, but then opened the door again and was like, hey man, did you put on some weight? You remember that guy that I worked with? Yeah, I know. It kept happening consecutively. Like, I mean,
a guy, you're really... like, hey, now that this guy is a pistol, let's fuck him.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, and I was doing him a favor, but remember, so we talked about that on the show where people like just random dudes were like,
that's
either
two very
actual
odd...
visible fat guys were like, hey, guys like us, and I was like, what? What are you talking? And Kaylee would laugh her ass off. So, all right, we're watching the Santa Claus, right? We're watching the Santa Claus, and he goes through the initial Santa Claus thing with his son, and it's like, all right, let's never talk about that again. And a year goes by. That's exactly what the movie is.
Yeah,
so then
keep our secret, and the mom's like, what?
Yeah. So a year goes by, and it starts to be, closer to December, and he's reluctant to be Santa Claus, and he's like, fuck that, like, it was just a one-time deal. Then he wakes up, and he looks fat, he's got, like, a jowl, and, like, he's visibly
like
a little bit
going
thicker.
Through the transformation, yes.
So Tim Allen, who's taller than I am, okay, he steps on the scale as, like, getting fatter, all right, in the morning.
Right.
Like, he's like, oh, my God, steps on the scale. He's 192. That is 2 pounds heavier than I am. And he's like, oh, my God, I'm fat.
Yeah, that's not really that big.
I know, but
that's kind of a normal weight for a grown man.
She just starts laughing again. I'm like, why? Like, why?
That's
They're
a
like,
pretty average weight for a grown man, not a guy turning into Santa Claus. Like, like the whole.
I was like, I felt called out again. And I was like, what the fuck?
That's
like,
hilarious.
You're visibly overweight, and everyone's at work is like, hey, you're huge. And like, he's ordering like, Sundays for fucking lunch at work. You know what I mean? Like, he's visibly getting fatter.
Yeah, the whole thing is
but
he's
he's
getting fatter.
2 pounds heavier than I am right now. And I'm like, I'm not. What the fuck? So
that's a weird number. Yes. Santa Claus is a good, 210. You're like, no, he's like 350. Like, he's a big. That's the whole point. That's why he needs fucking 8 reindeer to carry his fat ass across the sky.
You know what, too, is if we didn't know what Tim Allen was before then, right, from Home Improvement, his ho-ho-ho is ho-ho-ho. He does it from, like, the show.
It's his, that's his bit, and that came from his stand-up, too.
I know, but come on, ho-ho-ho.
Stop doing it, because every time you do it, we got to give him, we got to pay him.
I know.
He's just counting check. He's like, Thermopolis Media. Every time I go, there's another $7 right to his account. That's another fucking hot rod engine in the fucking dryer.
Another bullshit Christmas movie is Jack Frost with Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah. Isn't that the whole bit? Is that the kid's dad dies and then turns into
dies in like a car wreck because he's going on tour somewhere to sign a record deal.
Jesus.
All right, here's what
Christ.
and then he turns into a snowman somehow.
Is this another Disney movie?
Harmonica. I don't think it's Disney.
It's not? Because I was gonna like.
It could be.
I want to look at the biography of Walt Disney. Like, did his fucking parents die when he was a kid or something? Because every Disney movie, starting with Bambi, like the whole Lion King, the whole bit is that the parents die in the beginning, and like it's the whole thing.
And then and Pinocchio, when all the all the orphan kids are just like getting wasted at some weird kid casino. Remember that?
Yeah, we talked about
Yeah, I know. But they clearly don't have any parents. So yeah, you're right.
Well, and I also said that there's a character who made a little wooden boy named Geppetto.
No, Geppetto is the guy.
Yeah, he's the guy who made the puppet, right?
Oh yeah.
Geppetto.
Geppetto file.
Whose nose fucking every time
he has a daughter. Oh, pedophilia. Come over here. Sit on the papa's lap. So Jack Frost. All right. So I honestly, okay. So he dies and he comes back as a snowman and then he wants to reconnect with his wife. Dies every
spring, so the kid just has to live this horror every year.
I think the movie is only just one winter's worth of this bullshit. Thank God. But so then eventually he just, I don't know what happens. He definitely doesn't come back alive, but he is a snowman and he convinces his son that I'm your dad still, and everyone's freaked out and it's really weird. And then he melts away very easily. Classic snowman thing. But that's not the most unrealistic part. Okay. The most unrealistic part of that movie is that Michael Keaton is in a blues band. It's popular, and he's going to sign a record deal. that is the thing where he's
so cool. Bullshit.
Yeah, all of it right away before even the magic starts.
When he turns into a snowman.
And then they show them playing. I'm like, this is terrible. And everyone's like, yeah, raging at this lame blues band. And he's got an earring and blonde Michael Keaton phase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was cool, still wearing leather jackets.
You
and
believe
gum
more
all the time.
He died and turned into a snowman than this band.
That makes more sense than being in a popular blues band and dying on the way to sign your record deal.
In what year was this movie made?
The 90s, I think. Late 90s.
50 years after the blues.
Yeah, nobody
gives a shit.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't in a fucking alt rock band or something like that, or grunge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even maybe that part was new metal or whatever. You know what I mean? If he was rapping over some weird ass heavy riffs and shit, that would make
if
more
it was
sense.
Timely to the day.
Yeah.
Both of our dads are in dad blues bands, and they have fun, or they jam with their friends on old blues stuff, and they have fun. None of them are
make $40 doing it.
Yeah, they don't even care. They're just drinking beer with their friends and playing songs they like.
Right.
They're not I'm gonna go I have to sign a record deal.
Yeah, I'm 50 years old. I'm gonna go sign because the longevity of my career is definitely going to last. It definitely
cool.
is.
There was I remember a Viagra commercial that was it shows the guy just being the coolest guy in the world, and he's with his his wife on the beach and driving a hot rod, and then he's on stage strumming a guitar, and it's super dorky. It was this It's Always Sunny when their dad comes back and they're save the kids shit. You're just this guy takes a Viagra and now he can play guitar. I wonder if he tricked somebody. Someone's I want to learn how to play guitar, so they just pop a Viagra and they just have a boner, and they still are what the fuck, it's not working.
It's not. I'm still, boner pills aren't fun if you're a single guy who doesn't know how to play guitar.
No, then you just have a nuisance, and you're
yeah, all kinds of stuff.
You just have to fucking shift around and
yeah, man. So it's been obviously a busy couple of weeks, so we haven't really been doing the show. But thanks
take a holiday break. Suck my dick. What, we don't get fucking holidays?
All right. Well, here's the thing. So another Christmas movie, Scrooge with Bill Murray, is classic.
Yeah.
Written
by Michael O'Donoghue, who was one of the original writers of National Lampoon, and he was the first head writer of SNL. And the very first SNL sketch was, I think the very first one was when John Belushi is a Russian or something, and he's learning how to speak American, and then the Wolverines.
Oh,
I like to feel your fingertips to the Wolverines. And then the guy has a heart attack, and then he pretends to have a heart attack. That's Michael O'Donoghue who wrote Scrooge.
Oh, no shit. Yeah. Okay.
I'm full of useless information.
Yeah, clearly. But, so am I. So it's directed by Richard Donner. And Richard Donner, Superman. I want to give a shout out to him. He directed Superman 1 and then the better version of Superman 2.
This whole thing is going to come together. This whole thing.
He also did The Omen. Right?
Yeah.
He did The Toy with Richard Pryor, which is a fucking classic. The Goonies, Lethal Weapon, Scrooge, Lethal Weapon 2, which is also a superior sequel. Also, I guess 3. Radio Flyer was cool. What the fuck else did he do? actually all the conspiracy.
He did a lot. There's a lot of,
but like that, and he produced a lot of shit too.
Yeah,
but
he's got a hell of a fucking lineup. There's a lot of movies where you watch and his name comes up as director, and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay. How do I know that guy? Oh, because he did so many fucking things I love. You know what I mean? It's like
fucking John Williams too. Like, I mean, because like you're looking and you're like, how old is this guy? Is this guy 200 years old? Because like you watch a movie that came out last week and it says original score by John Williams, and then you watch like a Charlie Chaplin movie and it's like original score by John Williams. You're like, what the fuck?
He did
when he was born, he just came out like a conductor. And like the doctor pulled out the little stick, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then, damn,
dude, some of the best theme songs in the fucking
all of them,
like
every one of them,
every single Jaws, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Superman,
Harry Potter,
Harry Potter, Home Alone, E.T., everything.
Like every Spielberg
his son,
movie.
John Williams' son. I'm not sure which member, but his son is in Toto.
Oh, the band Toto.
Is a member of Toto. Yeah.
Damn.
Not the dog. Like
it's a talented ass family.
Yeah, I know, right? So that makes sense too. You're like, oh, of course. Like, of course, John Williams' son would be involved in that one song that everybody undeniably loves. You know what I mean?
And then when we remember, like a couple years ago, Weezer did a cover of it.
Yeah, so not bad.
Yeah, it was good. But then it became the Get Lucky of that year, or the what? You know what I mean? Yeah. It became the everywhere you went, every gig we played.
Yeah,
if you were on a bill, like a festival or something, there'd be some band who just like ding 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 ding, and then like the first couple times you're like, oh, I love this song, and then you're like,
I know,
damn it,
God, yeah, I know, it's overkill for sure, but it's cool when it comes back a little bit.
It's a great fucking tune.
Yeah, it's classic, man. But yeah, so it's funny. Okay, so you're saying full circle.
Oh, full circle back to Richard Donner Superman shit. All right, so was it on the last one we talked about A Star Is Born? I don't know if it was on the free one or the whatever. The new Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga, Oscar winning. We both watched it. We're both a couple little bitches, and it really fucking hit us because it just hit real close to home. A couple of fucking drug addict piece of shit musicians who are hopelessly in love. Even their house looks like my house. It's a just like like even my house, like they have like the same like California ranch style house.
Yeah.
They have a dog named Charlie. We have a cat named Matt, like with human names, and I'm just like about to call my lawyer and be like, get Bradley Cooper's people the fuck on the phone. This motherfucker made a movie about me. Where's my money? And, we're like, yeah, it's great. And then the music is good. It's a good fucking flick. So, out of curiosity, killing the cat, and I wanted content for the show, I went back and the 1976 version, because I was reading about the Bradley Cooper one, and there's a producer named John Peters, who is an infamous Hollywood producer. If anyone's ever seen the First Evening with Kevin Smith DVD, when he goes around to colleges and does the Q&As, which is arguably the best thing he's ever done, he tells a long story about working on Superman Lives with this crazy fucking asshole named John Williams. Right? Yes, the spider guy. Yes.
John Peters or
John Peters, my bad.
John Peters.
God damn it.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm here. That's what I'm here for.
Well, here's the thing: is Paul Williams is going to come up in a little bit, and I'm going to be like, so Serena Williams is writing music for this. Cat Williams came into. All right, so. Fucking so I'm reading the Bradley Cooper, and like John Peters still like owned part of the 76 version, because in 76 they did a version. This movie's been done like 4 or 5 times. It was done in the 30s, and then it was done with Judy Garland in the 40s, and then in the 70s they did like a rock and roll 70s version with Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand. Now, let me preface this by saying this is going to accidentally become the most anti-Semitic segment we've ever done. But it's not against the whole group of people. It's just against one fucking lady. All right? Babs, fucking coming at you. All right? So, I'm reading that, like, they had to pay John Peters, like, because he owned part of it. But, like, part of the stipulation was that he was not allowed anywhere near the set. And Bradley Cooper said the way that we had a respectful set was that John was nowhere to be involved. Now, it also ties into the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, Licorice Pizza.
Yes, Licorice Pizza, yeah.
Where Bradley Cooper plays John Peters.
Oh,
like in the 70s, he plays John Peters.
Where he says Barbara Streisand is his girlfriend.
Yes. So John Peters was his like uncles or something had a bunch of salons, and he worked at the salons. He started managing the salons, and then he became like a hairdresser in Hollywood, and he was Barbara Streisand's hairdresser on her first big movie, and then they started dating. So that's how he got his, and Kevin Smith says in The Thing is he got his start in Hollywood as Barbra Streisand's hairdresser. Now he's producing like the biggest movies in the world because in Hollywood you fuck up.
Yeah.
You just like, what are this guy's credentials?
Yeah.
So him and Barbara,
be the producer.
Him and Barbra Streisand are dating. And they do the Star is Born. He buys the rights to the story of A Star is Born, and they want to do like an updated version of it. And they hire this director. Well, they went through all this shit, and they finally got a director. I forgot the guy's name. But he wrote an essay called My Battle with John and Barbara that he released in a paper before the movie came out. Basically, pretty much preemptively being like, look, this is my experience working with these two on this fucking movie. And before it even hits theaters, I'm putting this out to be like, if this thing fucking bombs and sucks, I'm distancing myself. And she was like, that's it. She freaked out as unprofessional, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, I watched the movie, and it is just fucking, dude, like, it's goofy as shit. Chris Christopherson's great. Like, he plays a really good drunk. He's this same steel. Super famous, drunk, musician, rock star, kind of past his prime, kind of a little lost, doesn't know what the fuck to do. He's reckless. He's always getting in fights and breaking shit out. He's drunk as fuck all the time. He's got all this young pussy following him around everywhere. And then he sees fucking Barbra Streisand with her fucking, like, just, I mean, fucking Peter Frampton on the most humid day of all time hair. And she looks like, this is where the whole, you know, we're going to get a little mind comfy. If you look up a picture of a shoebill, fucking, I'm not going to do it because it's going to bring us to a grinding halt. If you look up a picture of a shoebill fucking, or shoebill fucking, not seagull, some sort of bird that has a huge beak and two little eyes that are like super close together. And the whole time I watch this movie, I'm like, she looks like one of them fucking birds. She looks like, I mean, she looks like Hitler's nightmares. Like, he would wake up and just be like, oh fuck, holy shit, Jesus Christ.
Like,
this one,
was it Streisand again?
Yeah. His wife's like, yeah. He's like, this one was bad. Wow. And this movie is so fucking goofy. The music is goofy. I don't know what the fuck. It's just like I'm watching this going like, wow, this thing is wacky. And her outfits the whole time are so just silly. There's one time when they're in the studio. And
like
she's
pantsuits or something?
Yes, tons of pantsuits left and right, dude. And then like gowns with like huge like cleavage. Like she goes from being like the most like feminine, like dressed like some sort of fucking emerald queen to like wearing a fucking straight up. There's a scene where they're in the studio and she's wearing like a tuxedo that's like white and striped with a little like a tuxedo thing. Like she looks like a fucking ventriloquist dummy. It looks absolutely ridiculous. And the whole time I watch this, I'm like, this is so fucking weird. And there's like, she looks like a little boy. She has like Gene Wilder hair. And I'm like, this is the fucking chick this rock star who has all the pussy in the world, all the money in the world. And he's so disillusioned and depressed. He takes one look at this fucking lady and snaps out of it. And he falls so deeply in love with he just becomes obsessed with her like instantly. He sees her singing one fucking song. He spray paints her name on the wall of his house the first time she ever comes over. I'm like, this is like a science fiction movie. Like, this is the lady that's like, Lady Gaga's got like a schnoz on her. They talk about it in that movie, but she's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Barbra Streisand, like, is just, you're just like, dude, I'm not buying it. What are you talking about? What? So I watched this movie. The shit's all silly. The music's silly. I'm like, this is a fucking weird ass shit, man. What the fuck is this? And like, her wardrobe was all her own clothes. It says in the credits, Barbra Streisand's wardrobe from her closet. That's what it says in the credits. So she dressed herself. So they had just way too much control. So I'm reading the essay that the guy wrote, the director.
Okay.
And it's her and John Peters are dating. And it's very fucking clear that these two are just fucking out of their minds. And it's just, they have way too much money. He's nuts. He has these crazy temper tantrums 11 times a day. He freaks out. The guy said first time he went up to like their ranch, there was like gardeners and construction work. Every time he went to their house, he's like, there was just nonstop renovations and antiques and all this weird shit coming in and out of the house. And every antique she had the tag on it so she could still remember how much she paid for it. And I'm like,
well, that's weird.
Yeah, on the Babs, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, and also in the movie, her name's Esther Hoffman. and she's unsuccessful in show business. I'm like,
yeah.
Once again, I'm like, I would sooner
right.
believe that Michael Keaton turned into a snowman. And this bitch couldn't pull a couple of fucking strings. She doesn't have an uncle or something. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just so, I'm like, this movie's wacky as shit. And the music is fun. I highly suggest you watch it. It's a slow burn, so maybe just kind of fast forward through the silly shit and look at her outfits and listen to some of the silly music. And it's like the music is like all of it is like she's like talking. There's way too many lyrics. She's like rapping, but it's like this funk shit. And Christopherson's band is weird. It's just weird, dude. And it's Gary Busey plays like his road manager. He plays the Sam Elliott part, but it's before the fucking head injury, so it's like normal Gary Busey.
Oh, okay.
When Gary Busey's the normal dude on the set, he is fucking. You're fucked.
It's fucked. Yeah.
So he's having these meetings with them, and John Peters and her like own the rights to the script or the story or whatever. So they have been chasing out directors and everyone they try to work with. Just they chase him the fuck out. And he sits down with her, and they're having this discussion, and John Peters is just running around being fucking nuts, telling him what to do and what it needs to be. And he's like, I quickly realized that he wants to make essentially a biopic about him and Barbara. And it's like they want to put all this because they're both famous, and they're both. He's like, people want to know how we fuck and how we fight and how we blah blah blah. People want to know, and and she's kind of going into it, and then at one point she reeled back and was like, well, I don't want to have it too personal because one day they're gonna want to make my life story, and I don't want to give it all away now. And that's when the director's like, like, dude, just like insane, like Hollywood fucking narcissism at a fucking level you can't even believe with this chick. And
well, there's a thing about her where if she performs somewhere, like nobody is allowed to look her in the eye.
Probably,
type of thing. I think she's got one of those things.
Which sometimes like celebrities get shit for that, like which sometimes I get when it's like so much pressure is on you to be the thing. And someone's like, hi, my nephew wants you to sign his. It's like, I can't fucking do this right now, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there has to be some sort of things, but then there's like weird shit like that where it's like, you will not address, like
who the fuck
it's just, she's so like, by the time this movie in 76 or whatever, this director's talking to her, you're talking to two people. John Peters has always been insane, but you're talking to two people who are so fucking out of touch. And the whole production of this movie is just them constantly changing shit and moving shit and 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. It was just a fucking mess. He's nuts. He's screaming at everybody all the time. They're renovating the house constantly to the point where they've gotten so many fights. He bought the house next door. So he had his house.
Oh, my God.
She had her house. And she's like, it's just easier this way. We get in less fights. And I'm like, that's where you break up. Like, they just had so much money. It was just like, dude, this essay is fascinating because it was just a window. It was just a working director. This is the guy, he wrote Dog Day Afternoon. And while they're making this movie, while he's in hell making this fucking movie, stressed the fuck out, and he's like, everyone's sick. It's just the shoot of this movie was awful. He ducked into a bar and watched himself win an Oscar on TV.
Oh, shit.
And then everyone started treating him fucking differently because he wrote Dog Day Afternoon. So,
wow.
Whoever that guy is, that's who it was. So, yeah, John Peters is fucking nuts. One of the stories was they're in their house having like a meeting, and he's screaming, the cook or whatever is making a souffle, a lobster souffle, and says, don't open the oven. And John Peters is like, fuck you, this is my fucking kitchen, you don't fucking tell me what to do in my kitchen. And he opens the oven and peeks at it, and the thing goes, and the maid's like, well, what the fuck? And I fucking told you, man. And they're just constantly like gardeners and shit. Like, it was just constant like money.
The Constant Gardener, maybe that's where that came from.
That would be a funny movie. It was like 4 hours of a guy just like digging fucking and planting shit and fucking. And people are like, what the fuck was that? And they're like, did you not see the title, man?
It's in the name.
Yeah. So, yes, The Constant Gardener. And John Peters is fucking nuts. And then Chris Christopherson signs on. And at one point, Paul Williams was on to write some music. And he is in the credits as writing some music. And they would get in so many fights back and forth about this. And she was just such a pain in the ass about every little fucking detail. And all this wacky shit to the point where Paul Williams just started faxing lyrics. He wouldn't even take phone calls anymore. There's one, Leon Russell is credited for one of the songs. And there's another story of how fucking awesome he is.
He's the man. I love Leon Russell so much.
Well, yeah, I loved him even more after this because he had a song and they liked it and they wanted to use it. But then John Peters, Barbra Streisand's hairdresser, starts changing lyrics. She wants to do it in a different key. They start fucking it up. And Leon was like, hey, that's a song I wrote. If you want it, you can have it. If you don't, I'll write another one. And then I think they just used one of his, and eventually he was even like everyone just kept fucking leaving. They'd have one meeting with somebody, and they would have one conversation with this wacky fucking couple, and they would go, yeah, I'll call you, and then just disappear. Like, everyone's had that where like you meet with a person, and they have a fucking ice cream corner benzoed out kid who came and jammed with us one time, and we were just like, one time we were like, all right, not him.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, it was like that. Like they were chasing out people like Leon Russ, like huge names. They were just chasing them away because John Peters was so nuts. Chris Christopherson shows up, and he was trying to play it off as method acting, but I think he was just so annoyed with the whole process. He was actually getting drunk the whole time. His character was getting drunk. And, he would just stay in his trailer the whole time because they would get in so many fights. And there was one time where like he was writing his own music for it. And John Peters was telling him.
Who's one of the greatest songwriters ever, too, Chris Christopherson.
So he's doing his own music, and John Peters like told him at one point that it wasn't like rock and roll enough or something. And he came in, and they're screaming at each other. He's like, "Who should I tell people that my music isn't rock and roll? Barbra Streisand's fucking hairdresser." I'm like, oh! I had that little gif in the head. All the black kids like, oh! And like, dude, it was just such a nightmare. This whole fucking shoot and this essay is fascinating, and it makes you hate Barbra Streisand because she's just out of her mind. And that's why like people like when all the celebrities got super political all of a sudden, I'm like, look, you have your opinions and you have your thing and you want to voice your opinions. Everyone has the right to do that. But when like Barbara, you don't live on Earth, man. You haven't lived on Earth since 72.
For a very long time.
Like, exactly. Don't look me in the eye. Like, shit like that.
Right.
You have no fucking idea what a normal person's life is like.
Right.
And you didn't want that. You wanted to be a fucking star. You worked your ass off to be this this huge, larger than life fucking star. And then you think like that she wrote like protest songs against Trump, which is like fine, but it's like, what like this
I didn't even know that.
Don't give me that working class hero bullshit. Like it is. It's just like, yeah, voice of the people, Barbra Streisand.
Well, like I always kind of had that like, they always, Bruce Springsteen and everything, but like,
yeah, he's not like
he was a working man, but like, he's pretty.
He's been
he
a millionaire.
Got famous when he was very young.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, maybe they started him working when he was like fucking 9 or something, but it was just like, I don't know. I'm just like, dude, that guy hasn't worked. That guy hasn't fucking done anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like all these like coal miners are just like going in.
That's our guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, okay.
Oh, the guy in the dressing room with the fucking water that you can't afford?
Yeah, with this coconut water. And
yeah.
Fucking, you know what I mean?
So it's just this whole essay is fucking fascinating. I suggest anybody fucking read it. And then like watch the movie too, because you just see her like, there's one scene where she first comes to his house, like the first time they sleep together, where she straight up is dressed like Luke Skywalker. She has this white flowy shirt on with a belt around it and then like white pants. And I'm like, yo, and it was a year before Star Wars. So Luke stole his shit from her. And this is like, and Chris Christopherson's this bearded, like hot fucking rock star guy, sweaty 70s rock star guy who's got naked chicks in his pool. And he's like, enamored with this ugly ass fucking chick dressed like Luke Skywalker. You're just like, what the fuck? Like, and it's just so goofy. I was just fascinated by this whole thing. So I read the whole essay.
And how, like in The Bodyguard, like Whitney Houston would fall in love with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, did he write that movie? You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that shitty movie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who wrote that movie Don John.
Yeah,
where he was like the coolest, hottest, fucking most in shape guy with a cool car, and Tony Danza's his dad, and I'm gonna get the hottest chick in the world, Scarlett Johansson, to be like the girl in the movie, and I'm gonna write and direct it. Like, yeah, if I had money, I would do that too. You know what I mean?
And have a scene where she grinds her ass into me.
Yeah, and like, oh, we didn't get it that take. Let's do it again. You know,
she's like, wow, you're really like, I believe that like, you're actually really shooting a load in your pants. He's like, yeah, acting.
Yeah,
wardrobe
method. Yeah,
wardrobe and a mop.
Yeah, they just have like a whole rack of boxers for him. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, the same thing with like Stuttering John. From Howard Stern would bring up the Chef movie. Jon Favreau wrote a movie where Sofia Vergara's his ex-wife and Scarlett Johansson's his girlfriend, and he looks just like non-ginger Louis C.K. You're like, okay.
And he just gets to eat like the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's have a movie where I just date 2 hot chicks and eat sandwiches. Like, that's
Deal.
not a bad idea, yeah.
No, and Jon Favreau, everything that he pretty much touches turns to fucking gold. Yeah. Seriously, that guy, shout out to Jon Favreau, man.
Yeah.
He's fucking crushing it. The best thing to happen to Star Wars was him.
Yeah. The best. Yeah. So, okay. So, fucking, the whole Star Wars Born thing is, and John Peters has like a fucking ridiculous reputation. The Kevin Smith story is great. He produced, well, here's the thing though, is the love, he's so nuts, but he produced Batman, and he was like really hardcore on the first Michael Keaton Batman.
Oh, really?
Which I love that movie. So I'm kind of like, dude, like that fucking, all right, man, you kind of fucking, he definitely hits him out of the park once in a while. Superman, Batman, he knew how to play the system, so he owned all that shit.
Yeah.
So when he was dating Kim Basinger when they were making Batman too, like he started an affair with her. Like he fucked everybody. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, what? Yeah, her, not fucking that fucking bird in an afro. Jesus Christ. Yeah, like I get it.
Big Bird, essentially.
Dude, no, yeah,
for
real.
I mean, Big Bird in Big Bird's image.
There's one scene where they're building a house like out in the desert, and she's wearing a Superman, like a little tiny Superman t-shirt and like little white shorts. She looks like a little boy. Like, remember, like, if you ever saw Grown Ups, in the beginning of Grown Ups, it shows them like playing basketball in the 70s when they're little kids. Like, that's what she looks like. She looks like a little kid. Like with an afro playing basketball like on a little league team, and it's like, the fucking Jim Morrison left everything to fall in love with this thing, and you're just like, wowzers. And it's like so ridiculous, and all the fucking music's ridiculous, and the whole shoot was ridiculous, and it was just whatever. So John Peters,
thank God for Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
And thank God Bradley Cooper is a smart enough dude to be like, we'll pay. John Peters has made millions and millions of dollars by being paid to fuck off. When they made Man of Steel, he still owns some Superman shit. When they made Man of Steel, Christopher Nolan banned him. They pretty much paid him extra, like a lot of fucking money, and Christopher Nolan banned him from anything to do with any of that movie. They just paid him because he kind of owned it, and then told him to fuck off because he's just a fucking nut, dude. And he just
doesn't Jack Nicholson still get paid for Batman stuff?
I believe there's some deal, where he still gets residuals and shit.
So smart.
So back to Batman. John Peters dating Kim Basinger, and they were like having this thing where they completely rewrote the third act of the movie, where he wanted him to take her to the top of this huge fucking church cathedral thing, and they built this huge set and spent tons of money doing it. And they had a very like ambiguous ending. He never had same thing with Barbra Streisand. Like, sorry, I'm bouncing around like fucking crazy here. This shit's been marinating in my brain for a couple weeks here. All right, Merry Christmas with my family. The whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, fucking Barbara, fucking you bitch.
Fucking Barbra, fucking Streisand.
Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah, bitch.
Yeah. This is my comment, right? This is my struggle. I was watching you fucking walking around in them fucking goofy suits. All the music is so silly. She's like rapping. It's like was getting through that movie was my struggle, okay? All the music has way too many lyrics in it. She's like rapping. It's fucking weird. And she has 2 black backup singers with her the whole time, and they're like they call it the Oreos because it's like 2 black chicks on the side of the white chick. Just like in Disney, they had the Oreo line in fucking Mighty Ducks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was Oreo line.
It's a strange concept, that movie, too.
Yeah,
the guy who gets a D-dub and they put him in charge of a bunch of kids. Like, isn't that a felony? You know what I mean? Are you allowed?
Fucking limousine onto the pond of the ice. They're like, that's life in prison. That's you literally just endangered the lives of 20 fucking kids.
Why don't you watch our kids? Actually,
yeah. Alone, yeah. Go ahead, sure, yeah. Just you go out. You guys go out.
Wasn't he a lawyer though? Didn't he help get himself out of that?
I think it was something. He had connections where he kind of got a cushy deal, and he was a beat up, he was sort of the fucking Chris Christopherson of fucking hockey. Like he was a drunk, used to be hockey champion guy. All right. Fucking,
the theme here, folks.
Well, John Peters, I think a little of his manic energy kind of got into me. He owns all his shit, and so I can't wait to see.
And he's still alive?
Pizza. Yes, I think so. Yeah, to see how Bradley Cooper portrays him, because Bradley Cooper took the role of John Peters in the 70s.
That's so funny with the connection with Star is Born.
Make fun of him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's incredible. I love Paul Thomas Anderson, man, and I can't wait for this new one. So I'm sure it's gonna be great. It's so funny, because him and he makes a lot of movies in that 70s era, especially in the Valley area of Los Angeles.
That's where he grew up.
Which is where he's from. Yeah, but I think it's funny because him and Tarantino are really good friends, and Tarantino just like did that huge Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, big period piece in the 70s, and then here comes Paul Thomas Anderson kind of doing the same thing again. But I like it because I'm intrigued by it because we talked about Magnolia a few episodes ago and like about the childhood actor in that movie and like about being on the show and all the kind of pressures and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what's going on. What's that?
Tame the cunt, isn't that what Tom Cruise says? Yeah.
Yeah. He says a lot of things that I wrote down and I keep in my pocket. It's like my little personal mantra. But yeah, man. Speaking of California and the Valley, I thought about this story the other day. I don't know if I ever told you, but it was really funny. I recognized a porn star at the grocery store because Tarzana, where I lived, and Reseda are like right next to each other. And Reseda is like the porn capital of the United States. It's like where everything is filmed. You can even smell it in the air. There's a lot of fucking going on there. It was very nice. So there was this MILF. What the hell is her name? Brandy something. Brandy Love, I think.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Classic MILF blonde, whatever. And I swear to God it was her. And she was ahead of me at Vons grocery store. And so I was like, that's got to be her. Like, I she had sunglasses on, but then she took it off to like, I don't know, whatever. And I was like, dude, I swear to God. Now, Brandy Love, I think that's her name, she looks like, every other California mom or Los Angeles mom. You know what I'm saying?
Blonde,
so
big tits,
but like, I looked at her enough where I was like, I swear to God, like, this is her, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, and I'm like looking at her, and I'm by myself. I'm not like with like Greg or Andy or any of my roommates or anything. I'm just by myself. So I'm like trying not to make it weird, but I'm like looking at her because I've never seen a porn star in real life. Like, you know what I mean? The one that I reckon, you know what I mean? So it was very odd. And like, so, and then she leaves and I'm, cashing out or whatever. And then I got to stop at the, so I'm like, I don't know, something was going on with her card or whatever, and it was taking a while, and I was just like, it was awkward because I didn't want to look anywhere else but her, but like I had to look, you know what I mean? Like
she has like an OnlyFans debit card.
Yeah, exactly. So like fucking, I don't know, it was weird. So we were there for quite a while waiting for her, and like I was, she kept like looking back, and I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like clearly. Like, hi, I've jerked off. I'm a big fan of your work. You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you say?
Generations of my children just flushed down the toilet to you.
Yeah, like I've ruined socks and all kinds of stuff. So like, all right, so then I leave and I have to go to the grocery store, which is like kitty corner to Vons, the grocery store where I'm just leaving. So I go to the gas station and I pull up at the pump, and sure as shit, she's at the one like next to me.
Yeah,
and I'm like
spraying the gas all over her tits, and they're like, "Whoa!" She's like, "Sorry, habit. Sometimes I get the world's.
It just happens.
Leave it at the office, right?"
I was like, "Great, is she gonna think I'm like following her because we met?" Like, I pull up and then I look out my window and she's looking at me. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, so she thinks I'm like, oh fuck, okay, play it cool.
They probably, dude, and porn stars probably have like, I mean, you get like like every hot chick celebrity gets like stalkers, but like porn stars get like probably deeper ones because these creepy guys think like, I've made love to you, I've seen inside your asshole. Like,
let me like smell you. So I get out of the car. Oh, well, first I wait for her to like pump because I don't want it to be weird, and so like I didn't want to get out and just like stand there because we're at either side of the pump. I'm here, she's there, so like, which is kind of funny. We're pumping anyway. So I get out and I'm in California, so I'm baked 24/7. So I'm like just trying not to be weird, and I'm focusing all my paranoid energy on
that. That's probably why she couldn't figure out her fucking debit card.
Yeah, maybe. So
maybe is her PIN number like boobs, like how we put it in the calculator as a kid?
Yeah, 8008. So like,
her PIN number.
So I finally get out of the car, and my phone is on my lap, and it falls out onto the ground, and I don't have a case on it, so it just slides under her car.
This sounds like the beginning of one of her movies.
I know.
And then she got stuck trying to get it.
Right. I just go for it,
Yeah.
But like, so then I'm like, now I have to approach her.
Stepmom help stepson get phone from under car.
So I'm like, oh fuck. So like, I just awkwardly like, I didn't even say anything. I was like, phone. Phone.
Phone,
and like,
car,
phone,
you.
Yeah. Like touch our, And so like I have to like go get it, and then my phone, the screen was fucking cracked, and I'm like, great, I just look like a total idiot. And then obviously she took off, and
you're like, God damn it! How am I gonna look at you now?
Yeah, I know. My only means.
Hey, look, can you help me out here? This thing's cracked, so can you just give me a little? Just
kind of your fault. So
yeah.
I mean, it is what you're wearing. Apparently, that's the first question they ask. So that was very awkward, But like, how could it not be? I mean,
I'm sure in her. Dude, they do like those adult cons where like they have like the like guys who live in their
pay to go see them.
I am sure
and
in
take
the
pictures and stuff.
Spectrum of fucking people she's met, like you are so on the normal side. That's just a guy who dropped his phone under, you know what I mean? Because you're just like, it was on your lap. And your fucking boner just like fucking catapulted it off. God damn it. Did you like when you like drove away from her, did you like out of habit delete your history and wash your hands?
Yeah. Well, I never washed my hands.
It's kind of Pavlov's fucking dog there, huh? That is
so that was, it was fucked.
And while that was happening, somewhere up in the hills, John Peters was fucking screaming at somebody.
Right.
He's a fascinating fucking guy. Holly Weird, huh? Fucking what a place. But at the end of this movie, at the end of A Star Is Born, and I also was watching the Trailer Park Boys cartoon, which I love cartoon versions of live things. I don't know why. I just always get really I like the cartoon version of like Bubble Shed and the trailers, and like we've been watching that show for 10 years.
Right.
I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. But every time I keep talking about it, my brain goes, A Star Is Born. Like born. Ricky.
Yeah.
Fucking Star Is Born. It's like, I gotta stop watching it because I'm starting to think like Ricky.
Yeah, you're getting pretty fucked up here from just, I don't know, man. You need to like get out of the house a little bit.
No, we did. Yeah, no, we did. It's okay.
Okay.
We're getting back. Well, no, I haven't done a fucking show in a while because everything's been off and everything's been fucky. Right, so like I said, I've been having this marinating in my head. This fucking Babs keep me up at night. But, no, sorry. Just the last shot of this movie. Remember how Lady Gaga sings a song and the last shot is her looking up to the heavens, whatever? Same deal. Barbara Streisand sings the sad song they wrote on piano, but then she goes into his like big hit song, which is like a rock song, and she's in a white pantsuit, and the dancing she's doing is fucking ridiculous. I can't believe nobody was like, what the fucker is this? This is the
maybe they did,
dude. She's just like doing these weird fucking dances, and it's like so bizarre. You have to watch this shit. I can't be the only one. I can't. I had to show Lee some of the outfits. I'm like, I can't be alone with this.
You watched it alone? You didn't watch it with her?
No, I just watched it because I was like, hey, I'll fucking watch it for like the show. Like we talked about it, and I read a little bit about it. I'm like, I want to see like the other version. And at the end, Gaga looks up to the heavens after she sings. Same deal, but it's not a shot looking down at her. It's a shot exactly like this, like where the camera, she's like this, and it freezes on her, and then the credits go, and her fro and it looks like fucking Bob Dylan. It looks. If you showed me that picture without knowing what it was, I'd be like, yeah, it's Bob Dylan in like in the 75 Rolling Thunder days. That's the last shot of the movie.
Okay, now, yeah, for sure, I have to fucking watch this movie. I wish you would have texted me and told me, because then I would have done my homework.
I don't want to put that.
Going back to Christmas movies, so I watched Home Alone, of course, one of my favorites, and so there's when he's first left, it's just weird because I watch it and I just think about how popular Macaulay Culkin was, and he was great in that movie, and like biggest star ever at the time, and how he became friends with Michael Jackson and stuff like that. And it's just weird.
Remember in the whole, he was a honeypot for the other kids.
Right.
Macaulay Culkin's like, he never fucked me. It's like, dude, he had you to bring to honeypot all the other kids, and then you fuck them kids.
But I think like Michael Jackson came in and did like a quick like rewrite of a scene.
He did the ADR. So when Pesci got hit, it was like,
no, but like, so
when he burns his hand on the doorknob, it's like,
like just wind just explodes his hair.
Voice dubbing by Michael Jackson.
So it's when he goes in, so he realizes he's home alone, and he goes into Buzz's room, right? And goes through his Foot Locker of all his snacks and weird Playboys and stuff, and buzzes girlfriend and everything. But so after he tosses, so he looks at the Playboy, he opens it up, and he's like, he tosses it over his shoulder, and Kevin says, "Buzz, I'm going through all your private stuff. You better come out and pound me."
Yeah, could have reworked that a little bit.
Yeah. I was like, I think Michael Jackson definitely had wrote that scene. You know what I mean?
Like, look at it
like a spread of a girl was like, ew, threw it out like, "Hey, Buzz, I'm going through your privates. Better come out and pound me." Mike's like, "Yeah, that's good."
He had a note in the script that said, like, "I want him to slap his cheeks and open his mouth." And then when he saw it and he does this, he's like, "Hey, it's okay. They're not exactly what I meant." But
they do that scene twice, don't they? I think they do that twice.
I don't remember. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that happens twice, and that would be another Michael Jackson intervention in there. But yeah, so that was just kind of, I mean, different time. You say things and whatever, but I was
watching
going through your privates. Better come out and pound me. After throwing a Playboy in disgust over his shoulder. So
I mean, yeah, different time shit. Fuck, man. Like I was watching like some early like 2000s comedies, like Waiting and fucking fuck, I can't even think of the other ones. Van Wilder was another one. I just watched the Ryan.
You're just on a Ryan Reynolds kick,
I guess. Which we like him and Chevy Chase, like he's got a real Chevy Chasey thing going on. Mm-hmm. If you watch, like they definitely have like the same vibe. No, there's other ones. Fucking goddamn, I can't even think of it. I don't know. They're gone. It's out of my head. Super Troopers was like another one. Like those type of stonery early 2000s comedies that have like making fun of fat people, fucking sexual shit left and right, fucking making fun of the brown guy was always had over the top. I'm like, dude, you would be fucking arrested if you even submitted this fucking script today.
That's true.
Now, like back then, like those movies were like funny, but I always kind of saw them as milquetoast. I'm like, me and my friends are way funnier than this shit because they would never allow us to make shit like that. That's actually funny. They'd be like, dude, we can't. I'm not a fool.
Well, because I mean, I wonder how many things that they actually came up with that somebody was like, no, you can't do it. Like shit like that. So
and
they kind of have to.
It's just such a whole
do cookie cutter shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
the thing
now
was, like, you
those
can't just
movies
make a movie yourself, like.
Hardcore now. Those movies are fucking nuts because like shit's become so milquetoast that people got to tiptoe around in movies and shit. Like funny movies aren't really that funny anymore. Now you're like, dude, this shit's hysterical because they actually like acknowledge that the fat guy's fat.
Not allowed to say it anymore. Yeah. I guess you go back, it's got a good rewatch value now. But I just thought about that. Yeah, that thing where she in Waiting where she picks that whatever out of her bush.
Yeah.
Remember she like like throws it at them and so I'm not alone there.
Dude, it's a great fucking movie. And it's dead on to anyone who's ever worked in a restaurant. It's so fucking accurate.
It really is. Another movie that I think might be the greatest movie of all time that I just watched was Hustlers with Jennifer Lopez. Yeah. Did you see that? Or she's a stripper?
I know Big J's in it. He plays like
he's a DJ. He's a strip club DJ.
He talks about it like on shows and stuff of like shooting it. I've never saw it though. The greatest movie of all time?
Well, I mean, no, it
just because she's like shaking her ass,
dude. Yes, but like, holy shit! Like, my God, she like
that's what sent Ben Affleck back to her.
But that's I turned to Kaylee and like she's like the hottest Latino girl, like or Latina, whatever you want. I don't even know what to say.
Latinx, you fucking
Latinx. Yeah, I see. What does that even mean? So
it's a genderless thing, but she's definitely Latina.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, like Latina is like the male.
Latina's the feminine
female version, so they do Latinx for people who.
Either way, she's like the fucking pinnacle of hotness. You know what I'm saying? And like and she's that legendary booty and. The entire movie is just like showcasing that, like you know what I mean, and she's really good. She like at doing the pole dancing and everything like that. But like it is perv and boner things aside, is an art form. It truly is. In the setting in which it occurs, it is a terrible, awful place. But like it really is, and she did a great job. But like holy shit, she's smoking hot. Cardi B's fucking part was hilarious.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the movie itself was like okay. It was definitely them trying to be like a Scorsese type of thing, and they pulled it off for the most part. But like, yeah, man, I think
it is like Ben Affleck saw that and then was like, just got his phone out and was like, "Hey, long time no see.
I've been
What's
thinking
up?
about you? How you doing?
It's Batman.
Batman.
Got some of that Batman money. Did you see my ass in that movie?"
Munzie from Vincenzo's and I were talking about like just how stupid the concept of Batman versus Superman is. Because like just this one thing when he was like, so Superman's the most powerful being in the world. So what? Ben Affleck just starts working out super hard and like flipping tires. Like that's not gonna do anything, dude. Like
the kryptonite thing is fine. Like
that makes sense.
A little skinny ass nerd could have done that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But he's just like working out with chains and flipping tires.
That's that's what I said. I was like, this guy's a billionaire and his gym is like a bunch of fucking like rusty
barrels.
Shit he found at the dump. He's like lifting kegs. It's just like, what are you doing?
But yeah, once he pointed that out, I was like, yeah. I mean, I kind of have a, I don't like Lex Luthor in that movie. I don't know. There's a lot that I didn't really enjoy about it, but it was just funny when he was just like, think about it. You're just working out harder. It's like you're versus Superman. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, you can just put on the suit.
Like building the armored suit and doing the kryptonite shit. Like, actually, like, Batman won. He was about to fucking stab that motherfucker in the face. Yeah. And then he's like, Martha.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, but hey.
Yeah, we got the same mom name. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's be friends. And then they do. And fight a weird Ninja Turtle looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I have good hope for Robert Pattinson's Batman.
That looks pretty fucking dope.
It looks fucking cool, man. I'm pretty excited. And it looks like the director, Matt Reeves, he did, the good Planet of the Apes, the second Planet of the Apes and the third one. Dawn or something, and then War of Planet of the Apes. Did you see those? The second one?
Wasn't like
they were really good. The non-James
Who was
Franco
in one who played a fucking? Wasn't it like Woody Harrelson or something? Played like the crazy guy.
Yeah, he was like Colonel Kurtz from Apocalypse Now. That was in the third one. Yeah, they were both really good, and and I think he did Cloverfield.
Yes,
too, which
did.
Was good. So
which I did watch recently because I was listening to like old O&A. They had TJ Miller was in promoting Cloverfield and Patrice was on. So this is when Cloverfield came out. And then they had this like sex therapist lady come in and Patrice is talking about like, do you understand this TJ Miller? He's in an $80 million blockbuster movie. He has to do this fucking giant movie to even have a chance to talk to you about maybe getting in your pussy. You understand? Like you just have to have a pussy. Dude, like, oh man, one of the best fucking bits he ever did. He had the two greatest bits of like playing the audience, like having the audience like do the joke for him.
Yeah.
And he was like talking about relationships. He's like, ladies, if your vagina like just stopped working or closed up one day, if you didn't have a vagina, what would you do to keep your man happy? And all the girls in the audience go, blowjobs, blowjobs. He's like, okay, blowjobs, okay. Anal. Okay, all right. Do you see? You just described yourself as a series of holes. It's like he didn't do it. They did it. He's like, nothing else? Nothing like, learn how to tell better stories or be funnier, like just you just found another hole to stick it in and that's how you're going to keep him happy? You're fucking great.
All right. Well, just good for the I think this is enough free do for you fucking freeloaders.
Yeah, it's an hour. It's 50. Yeah, right
there.
Yeah. Dingleberries. So yeah, go hit up the Patreon. If you want twice the dose of every time we do a fucking show, we do another one. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes there's shit that we put back there because we don't want it to be that easy to find.
Yeah. No, thank God you're going to have to pay for it.
Find it on the Patreon. Go to the Thermopolis, blah, 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 and there's the links are all there. Just Google it. You know what I mean? People are like, how do I find that? I'm like, how did you just like wake up out of a coma? Like, you don't have to ask people that shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we watched.
Well, when our old drummer used to ask us the address of every fucking gig that we ever had, and I was like, dude, you know how I found it? Like, you know how you're texting me on the fucking phone? Like, it's the same device.
Same thing. Put it into maps. Like, you don't even have to spell it right. You just have to type in something that sounds like it, and it'll fucking pop up. Leo asked me that shit. Should be typing something and be like, how do I spell this word that is like a... I'm like, well, if only you had a world of knowledge at your fingertips. And you're asking the guy on the other side of the room who's fucking watching A Star is Born being like, this fucking... Yeah, I'm not... Don't ask me. I don't fucking know. All right, so yeah, look it up, you dumb shits. All right, and we'll see you next time, you poor bastards. But for you fucking paid for VIP, there's another one on the Patreon coming up. All right.